There is a dream, that is, the Maldives. Each dawn breaks like a painter's canvas, mirrored perfectly on the aquamarine-colored waters. As the sun climbs higher, the 1,200 islands transform into glowing sanctuaries of light and shade from swaying palms. It's easy to believe that nothing but beauty exists here. But more often than not, beauty often exists alongside hardship. Beyond the postcard-perfect shores, unseen shadows linger in the lives of many. Shadows of hardship, of need, of struggles too easily overlooked.
ಅಳಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಂಗೆ ವರದ್ ಬೇರೆ ಅಳಗೊಂಡುಗಲ್ಲು ಗೊತ್ತ ಬದಲು ಅಮ್ಮಂಗ ನಾತಿವನ್ನು ಫೆನಿದೆ ದೆನ್ ಎತ್ತಂಗರಿ ಹಮ ಅಳಗೊಂಡುಗಲ್ಲು ಡುಗ ಫೆನು ಎಕ್ಕೊದ್ದಾನಿ ಬಾರ್.
But what if those shadows could fade? What if in a single, life-changing moment, the world came back into focus? Clear, bright, full of possibility. And what if hope didn't wait to be found, but instead came knocking to change the lives of so many, and with it, their ability to not just see the world as it is, but everything that it could be. The waves of the Indian Ocean caress the shores like a gentle heartbeat, each wave a pulse of life. And life here flows at the pace of the tides. There's this rhythm that exists, unique to a paradise untouched by the rush of the outside world. But the very geography that makes the Maldives a dream destination for travelers also creates profound challenges for its residents, weaving a paradox where paradise and vulnerability coexist, painting a picture as beautiful as it is complex. For many, a routine doctor's visit means a journey across open waters, sometimes for hours, to reach the nearest hospital and often at great personal cost. On islands where each sunrise unveils untouched shores, health services can feel as distant as the far-off horizon. There are no sprawling hospitals, no extensive networks of specialists. For many, even a simple doctor's visit means hours on a boat, braving choppy seas. And small clinics like this have become the only lifeline for its local population.
This is a health center, so we are providing the middle class of healthcare facilities. So for the specialist and the patient or the people have to go to the capital of Male, and every day there we have the speedboat or the ferry boat, so they have to cross the sea, and every day they have to go to the capital of Male and they consult the specialist. We have only one doctor here, so he's a medical officer, one medical officer we have, and we have 3 nurses here. We actually run in for 16 hours plus.
With a population of around 1,000 residents, the island of Guli is the least populated of the 9 inhabited islands of the Male Atoll. At its core, the island is a small fishing village. While healthcare is accessible, it's still rudimentary, not as advanced as care in the capital, Male.
The biggest challenge that we are facing is moving the patients to one island to another or to the capital. So it's actually the major issues that we are facing. To travel, because it's depending on the season. Like if the weather is very worse, so sometimes even for 1 month also they have to stay in the island because of the weather. So it's actually not safe to travel in a bad weather. So there is some days that all the transportations are cancelled because of the bad weather, and we have gone through those difficulties.
For the local aging population, the impact is felt. Inside this home lives 65-year-old Nasima Mohammed with 7 children and 12 grandchildren. Age is both a keeper of stories and a bearer of burdens. As each year passes, her list of illnesses grows: diabetes, high blood pressure, hepatitis, and cataracts.
Todos da temi puna testo de hakura posto da kanta takavesto hepatitis huria kanta timasima testo hadanji hani huria kan eno egota kaves da temni kana kanmacharas birugane do karwati bidan kene para ko number naga no gosadar ko sama do kolunji he ma visar mun de yuni mudan egotangun.
Cataracts, a leading cause of blindness, have long plagued the aging population in the Maldives. For many, it begins with a mild clouding of vision, an inconvenience easily ignored. But as time passes, the haze thickens, colors dull, and familiar faces become indistinct blurs. Daily tasks once taken for granted, sewing, fishing, reading, become insurmountable challenges. Slowly, the world they once knew disappears, lost in a mist of fading light. Left untreated, blindness usually follows. It is a cruel irony that in a nation defined by its spectacular scenery, so many of its own people are unable to witness this splendor.
The eye health in Maldives is an important public health priority, but in the recent surveys, it shows significant number of people are affected by preventable eye issues with the eyes. It's most likely due to the lifestyle, exposure to the sun.
Across the Maldives' scattered atolls, thousands suffer from cataracts, glaucoma, and diabetic retinopathy, with few options for treatment. The Maldives has only a handful of ophthalmologists based in the capital, Male, leaving outer islands underserved. For those that can afford it, hopping on a plane and getting treatment abroad has become increasingly common. In the darkness of the night, a team of dedicated healthcare workers arrives, not as tourists, but as healers. Ophthalmologists, nurses, technicians, surgeons, each bringing a wealth of experience, each carrying the weight of one sole mission: to bring hope through sight. They all know what's at stake. Their task is monumental: restore the sight of hundreds, bringing back the world that so many have lost.
Eye health is an area that we need the kind of support. With the Chinese expertise teams and technology has really proven it. That's the areas we need. And we also need to look beyond the traditional health services where the doctors and the patients and traveling abroad for tertiary care and regional hospitals, which is quite costly. These approaches are very cost effective and beneficial to the public because they're getting the care close to their homes and they don't have to travel abroad.
For almost 10 years, there's been a great transformation of eye health in the archipelago. Since 2016, Chinese medical teams have been traveling to the Maldives to perform free, life-changing eye screenings and surgeries for local Maldivians. It is part of an initiative known as Bright Journey. In 2020, this China-Maldives International Ophthalmology Center was officially opened. With state-of-the-art technology, the center is enhancing eye health in the Maldives and bringing light to those that need it most.
This project is one of the most important international collaboration projects from China. For the past 5 years, we have sent 7 groups of medical teams here, more than 6,000 outpatients, and totally we have done nearly 700 surgeries. So our team is very happy to not only to do the surgery, but also to bring help, bring hope, and bring vision.
Their impact has become visibly clear. Inside the hospital doors, patients and their families have already begun gathering, some traveling from distant islands, braving long boat rides and overnight journeys just for a chance to regain their sight. Some held hands of loved ones, relying on them to navigate a world they could no longer see. Others, despite their failing vision, still carried an air of resilience, a determination to reclaim what they had lost. Among them were 3 individuals whose journeys would soon intertwine with those of 3 dedicated doctors. For Aminat, each stitch told a story. Her hands, weathered yet skilled, had crafted garments for generations. She could once match colors effortlessly, weaving threads into vibrant patterns that mirrored the beauty of her island home. But a few years ago, the threads began to unravel. She had experienced hardship before, but this time was different. Her work demanded precision, and without clear vision, even the simplest tasks became insurmountable. She would try to fight against it, leaning in closer to the fabric, struggling to thread the needles by touch alone. Her frustration mounted.
ಅಳುಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೆ ವರದ್ದೆರವೆ ಅಳುಗೊಂಡುಗಲ್ಲು ಗೊತ್ತ ಬದಲು ಮುಂಗನ್ನಾತಿವನ್ನು ಫೆನಿದೆ ದೆನ್ ಹೆತಂಗರಿ ಹಮ ಅಳುಗೊಂಡುಗಲ್ಲು ಡುಗ ಫೆನ್ನು ಎಕ್ಕೊ ದನಿ ಬಾ ದೆನ್ ಬಾಯ ಫಹಾರು ಹಮ ವರದ್ದೆರವೆ ಗಂಗೊ ಸಮ ರೊವೆ ಫಹಾರು ಸಾದೆ ರೇಗಂಡುಗಂದಿದ್ದಂಗ ಶೋತಿ ಮಗಸ್ ಎಕಮುಗೆ ಸಾಸ್ತವನ್.
When Aminat learned of the Chinese medical team arriving in Malé, she was hesitant. Years of adjusting to her declining vision had made her doubtful that anything could be done. But with the gentle encouragement of her brother, she made the long journey to the hospital, with hope still lingering in her heart.
Me Malega, me China group ngas, me gotta masaka kurate datta warang hinga maja. Varak gina mihuna libiganda fasehangai gina mihuna ki bera gossa farua hoda mihu miharu hama sida mi gurupa dimako mihunge baade male hama dakka den alugondu varang ufavi alugondu alhamdulillah ya hama varab bodang ufavi alugonda me China gurupa dimawe alugonduge me
And it was Professor Lin that would be her saving grace. Inside the operating room, doctors and nurses moved with speed and purpose, every movement deliberate, every action synchronized. The machines beep in rhythmic intervals, sterile instruments gleam under the bright surgical lights. Within 10 minutes, Aminat gets up, a smile like only she knows that she has been given the greatest gift. With every surgery complete, a monumental moment. This may be routine for the healthcare workers, but for the patients, this is a life-changing moment.
Because you are the 666 number patient.
Oh yes,
you know that you go to China, and then China traditional culture. 6 means it's the lucky number. Yeah, and 6 is you are very lucky.
I'm lucky.
Yeah, so
I'm lucky man.
Yeah, you are a lucky man. Yeah.
Professor Lin arrived in the Maldives as part of a broader medical program aimed at strengthening the island nation's healthcare system. Back in China, he is the director of the Zhongshan Ophthalmic Center, the best ophthalmology institute in the country. Professor Lin's work extends far beyond the operating rooms. As part of Operation Bright Journey, he and his team brought with them state-of-the-art ophthalmology equipment, which was formally donated to the hospital during a ceremony marking the cooperation between China and the Maldives in the field of eye health.
We also bring out newest technology. You know that AI is changing the world. Especially changing the medical service. It can just photo a picture for a machine, and the AI can automatically make the report for the patient, and is accurate and precise, the same level as doctors. I think this is very good, especially for Maldives, the medical system. It really need technology, not just equipment, but also the technology to improve how the service level
The gesture was symbolic of the enduring partnership between China and the Maldives, but for Aminat, it was deeply personal. She knew firsthand the difference this equipment could make, the lives it could change, the futures it could restore. She was not just the beneficiary of this partnership, she was a living testament to its success. And perhaps moments like these were the true measure of this success.
Diriulma varapad bada annana miharu me aluganda kuring hitang eri aslu den aluganda masakka vesmi diyaiye eka miharu aluganda hitang ara aluganda me aluganda kura masakka ves kura do aluganda hama alhamdulillah ye operation ko gam base gandu negiru es aluganda bunani alhamdulillah ye varabada shukriya China gurupa.
For Abdul Aziz, the struggle was more than just the loss of sight. It was a battle against time. His cataracts had progressed beyond simple correction, demanding expertise that few in the Maldives could provide. 4 years ago, he had cataract surgery in his right eye at a hospital in Malé, a complication that has left him almost blind and in urgent need of a corneal transplant, which could not be done in the Maldives. But it doesn't stop there. His left eye now also has severe cataracts. Professor Chen Wei-rong, an ophthalmologist with decades of experience, took on the challenge.
It is the most difficult cases these days, maybe. Because the cornea not clear, I can see. When I do the operation, I can see clear, so it is difficult.
The surgery was intricate, delicate, and complex, requiring skills that local doctors had yet to master. But through this process, something greater took root, a bridge between nations, a passing of knowledge. To further enhance their expertise, several Maldivian nurses and doctors have been given the opportunity to travel to China for specialized training. In the Chinese hospital, they are honing their surgical techniques, learning the latest advancements in ophthalmology, and gaining first-hand experience in high-tech medical environments. Fatima Saida was one of them.
I have got the opportunity to go for a training to get more experience, and it's an advanced hospital. So I just taken the opportunity to visit the hospital to see how they work, see where in Zhongshan Ophthalmic Center how they are performing surgeries, how the nurses are doing the procedures. We can start those procedures here also, and we can extend our services to the patients. And I think if we can start a lot more than this, we don't have to refer the patients to abroad, and that can save a lot of money from them also.
For every patient whose vision is restored, for every local doctor who gains confidence, and for every nurse who learns to care with newfound skill, Maldivians can soon find healing in the hands of their own. This is perhaps more than knowledge transfer. It is sowing the seeds of sustainable healthcare, ensuring that the gift of sight continues to be restored long after the team departs.
We are actually so happy when the patient is telling that they are able to see again. Some people are saying, now I can see like the way I can see in teenage. So the difference we made is, I think it is huge for us and them also.
And as Abdul Aziz returns back to his home island, he knows that he has become a different man than the one that left days before. Professor Chen Wei-rong had called his case complicated, And it was. The cataracts had been so advanced, the surgery so delicate, and the outcome uncertain. But as Abdul Aziz walked through his neighborhood, he feels lighter, less worries, less stress. Life has become simple, no longer complicated.
Asked Koleb Vesne. Koleb Vesne. Amar Sukuria Ebonave. A team of Ves. Me coach Kamil Biluke. Huria Mosiful Naves. Amar Sukurudan. A house. Nudakangati. Harmidi Diano, or Doctor Tigatan, a decatanters. Mihar me coach Naruhu, Miha Fakka. I cover Doctor Umbasamaher. A half Fakka, Doctor Navaraga.
Abdul Aziz's brother-in-law Ismail spent his life in service to the people. As a politician, he once pored over endless documents and letters late into the night. But cataracts in both eyes made reading impossible, cutting him off from the work that gave him purpose. Retirement that fell upon him by his failing eyesight felt less like a rest and more like a surrender.
Then abadwas gabul kure kame lola ata me baram muhimmo de gunama almen me pura masakatum bes ekam faha korebe lo puri surebes me kantata gosko me algon diabetic me hisam fesgen lo gosima vara deraveswi vara mudaguweswi vara mayusweswi enames annualagen kan halluwima rangaluwi kam hita hutta anekam kanta goswege me.
His brother-in-law's initial experience made him wary of treatment locally, so he waited for the Chinese medical team to arrive. His first surgery was performed in September last year. Happy with the results, he is eager to do it again on the other eye.
Doctor, Chinese doctor na adi hospital gati bin araskudin emi ekudin baran rangalo baran ogateri baran hinhame je alon hama gabul kuran dati wara base emi unde emi ihlasteri kamwai baran hinhame je ke mere adives dengoi operation abis mehri baran hinhame je.
Dr. Chen Wan, the youngest ophthalmologist in the team, would be his doctor. At 40 years old, her age belied her experience. Over the course of her career, she has already performed over 1,500 surgeries. With a calm demeanor and a sharp mind, her days began with surgeries often back to back, each requiring her full attention. In between, hundreds of patients waiting for her consultation. Her bedside manner was gentle but direct. She didn't sugarcoat diagnoses, but she always took the time to explain what was happening and what to expect.
In the healthy eyes, we can see things clearly, both far and near, right? But in a patient with cataract, especially when the cataract becomes severe, the patient cannot see things clearly. Some of them will have double vision. So the blurred vision will affect the patient's daily life and working. And the worst situation is that the patient cannot live by himself, and the patient needs someone to take care of him or her.
Calm and methodical, she examined Ismail's eyes and explained the procedure with clarity that put him at ease. The surgery was straightforward, swift, precise. Just 9 minutes would put his life back into focus.
After the surgery, especially during the second day when we remove the eye package for them, and when they see things very clearly compared with previously, and most of them will feel very happy and emotional, and some of them will cry for happiness.
As Ismail's bandages are taken off, it was a moment of quiet triumph, not just for Ismail but for everyone in the room.
How many fingers?
For Ismail, what followed was less about the surgery itself, but more about the relationships that formed around it.
මිහා ගොඩක් ලෝ අලි මිහා සාපයෙන් දියාම වාර ගින කන්දත්තක පස්සේ ගෙන්දා. ඔව් දන්නවානේ මේ දිවෙහින්න දෙමුණු වර බොඩ නසීබෙක. චයිනා ටීමේ රාජ්‍ය මෑස් රාජ්‍යයක මිපත බොඩ හිදුමත දෙනවා කියයි රාජ්‍යයක රයිතුන දෙමුණු වර බොඩ කුරියර් මේ කාමියාබෙක. වර බොඩ ලුයිත ඒ වර අහුබොඩ ඔපරේෂන් එක. යා මේ ඔපරේෂන් මිහා Ile Sabahang Evacuation and Podbi Mahalman of my Hitu Fumen Arab, Boda Sukur Dano, China Sarkar, Adi Sarkar.
Because beyond the surgery, what happens in these hospital walls speaks to an unbreakable bond between two distant nations, one that transcends language and geography. There's a realization that sight is more than just a biological function. It is a bridge to connection, understanding, and beauty. It allows us to navigate the world, to learn, to create, and to love. These Chinese health workers have left their mark, with the community, with their colleagues celebrating small victories together, celebrating the unbreakable bond they have formed and will forever cherish.
Every time when we finished our trip, we were so proud because many patients can see things clearly with our help. And also we will be proud to see the doctors and nurses here, their medical skills improved. And also we are so happy because we have so many friends here, and every time when our visit here, I think the friendship between our team and local doctors and nurses here are strengthened.
Operation Bright Journey left behind more than just clear vision. It left a legacy. Today, more than 700 surgeries have been performed, each one a story of renewal, of discovery, of hope. But the true impact of Operation Bright Journey cannot be measured in numbers alone. It was etched in the smiles of patients who once lived in darkness, in the tears of gratitude, and in the bonds of friendship that have been forged across oceans and cultures. The irony that once plagued the people of the Maldives, that a paradise was hidden in darkness, was no longer absolute. For Aminad, Abdul Aziz, Ismail, and countless others, sight was restored, and with it the dreams of those who could finally once again see the paradise they call home. It's now a reality they can hold on to forever, alongside the friendships that made it all possible.